Hey guys, today I'm going to show you how to get cheap Facebook ads. So without further ado, let's get started. So the first thing to do is in Facebook, click on Ads Manager. Now this is good, Ads Manager is good if you're sort of new to Facebook advertising. It simplifies the whole process. It's actually very easy within 5 minutes to have an ad up and running. But I don't actually use Ads Manager. I actually use something a bit more powerful called Power Editor. Now note that you can't run Power Editor unless you're using Chrome, but the power behind Power Editor is the placement of your ads. So in Facebook you would have noticed you're not just getting ads on the right hand side of your news feed, you're also getting it within your news feed as well. And then breaking that down, you can also see ads in your news feed both on your desktop and also on your mobile. And you can't do any of this through Ads Manager. You have to use Power Editor, and that's why I use it. So what I'm going to show you is how to get these cheap Facebook ads using Power Editor. But you simply apply the same process that I'm going to show you to Ads Manager if you want to use Ads Manager. And like I said before, I highly recommend Ads Manager if you're new to it, sort of just to get you learning and getting used to how to create ads on Facebook. So once I click on Power Editor, now you can see it's based on campaigns and ads belonging to campaigns. And it's just very powerful with Power Editor. I'm not going to go through the every nitty-gritty detail of Power Editor because you can just Google it, you can read it. There's a lot of info on the Facebook website because it just allows you to do lots of things like bulk imports and to be able to manage campaigns across all sorts of pages and you name it. It's very, very powerful. So the first thing, let's create a new campaign. So we'll call this campaign test. We'll just leave everything as is. You just have to play with this according to your preferred settings. So, you know, if you want it to be fixed price and have a budget per day or daily, or sorry, per day, or as you can see here, lifetime, have a start date or an end date. And this is just a good idea. So, because if you don't, I highly recommend monitoring your ads on a daily basis. But if you just want to set and forget, you can just let it continuously run. So once we've created that, we can go back to the campaign dashboard. Actually, we'll go back to active. There we go. Test, sorry. I'll go back to the campaign that I've just created. So that now we can create an ad. So we can create an ad name. So for example, let's take for example, you're a online retail shop and you're selling shoes. So let's call it shoes campaign. Now it's good to be specific, so if you want to run a campaign just before Easter, before Christmas, a seasonal type campaign, it's good to put it in here. Next, we set the type of ad. Sorry, I correct that. Shoes ad, not shoes campaign. So there are a couple of different ones. Now you can see what I was talking about before in terms of the Power Editor. You notice you can have a sponsored story. So this just means that when it appears on someone's news feed, it will have one of their friends, their first or second degree connections, endorse your story. You can have a mobile only ad, you can have a video ad, and you can have sponsored search results. So we'll just go for a normal ad. So I want to keep this very simple. Now we'll keep it for a Facebook page. So you want to get more likes to your Facebook page. So we'll go down here, I'll click on, say, Douglas Lim. This will be the Facebook fan page that you've set up. Now, the landing view is where you want them to hit as soon as they arrive or they click on your ad. So I'll just click the timeline. Well, actually, no, I can put it, I'll set it to join my newsletter. So this is the powerful thing. In one of my previous videos, I showed you how to add an application to your Facebook fan page. And this is an example of it. I've added the MailChimp app to my Facebook fan page, and I've created a newsletter sign up landing page so that when someone clicks on my ad, in this instance, they're going to see my Join My Newsletter app. So we can have a headline, which is just up here for your ad. I like to have something that relates to your audience that you're going to be targeting this ad to. So something could be, now one thing is I'd avoid being very salesman-like in terms of your headline, because people, when they're on Facebook, they're not there to look at sales material. They're there to connect with friends, to connect with family, and just generally just to see what everyone's been up to, and even just to waste time, I suppose. So a good headline, I'll leave it as Douglas Slim. It could be your shoe store. So why not? Let's call it Douglas Slim Shoes, because we're on the theme of shoes. Now the text is very, very important. One thing that you'll see that a lot of people do is they'll do something like this: click like if you love shoes. Now the reason why they keep it simple is you can see on the right hand side, it just makes the ad look, it just simplifies it. I mean, you can imagine if you wrote something like this. Okay, let's have a look. Douglas Slim Shoes has the best quality shoes in the whole of Australia, so much so that you will always be, well, I've hit my character limit, but you can see it when you can see this, and I'll load up my actual Facebook because I want to show you something. Now you'll notice on the right hand side, with so much writing, it all mixes in together. It's very, very hard to distinguish your ad from another ad. So it's very, very important to keep it simple. So I like to do something like click like if you love shoes, or you can have something controversial or something that strikes emotion, because when people click your ad, or for example when someone buys something, you usually buy something based on emotion, and then later on down the track you justify it with logic, and that's why you get things like buyer's remorse. But let's just leave it as click like if you love shoes. Pick an image, so you can pick an image to be displayed there. I'll keep it as my default. You can do conversion tracking, but I won't go through that now. So this is the power of the Power Editor, and this is what I was talking about before. You notice that you can select where you want it to be placed. You can have it everywhere. You can have it on the right-hand column and just the news feed. You can just have it on the news feed. You can have it on the news feed on just the desktop only, and you can have it on the news feed on the mobile. And this is very powerful. You don't get this sort of placement in Ads Manager. So I'm going to leave it as all Facebook, and I'm going to leave it as all mobile devices. Okay, now the next part, and before I go on, actually, I highly encourage you to play around with this. You'll notice that if you click this one, desktop, right-hand column, and newsfeed on desktop only, I'll change it back, but if you selected that one, and I'll go back to here, there'll be ads like this that has a nice orange border or a red border, or a bit of red in the ad. You see the bit of red in the ad? Now the reason why these ads use images like that is because, you guessed it, Facebook is predominantly blue and white. So if you have something, oh look at this, this is a great example at the right time. You notice it stands out as yellow and red, which contrasts the blue. Because if you're flicking through the page and going through your newsfeed, this stands out way more, so you'll be able to read it. So that's why, and it entices you to click it more. So that's why, going back to the images, here, when you choose your image, it's a good idea to have something that stands out, a bit of color, a bit of red in it because it contrasts the blue. So this is powerful. And the next section I'm going to show you how to target your audience. and this is where the image is going to come into it, but I won't go through it yet. So audience, now this is the powerful thing. Now, okay, with your Facebook ads, you want these ads to be as targeted as possible. For example, you want your ad now down to the specific demographic, what they like, how old they are, their gender, what they do for a living, to the T on your audience. You don't want it to be generic, because this is where you're going to be able to get the cheap Facebook ads. Very, very powerful. Once again, I'm just going to repeat this and I'm going to hammer it through. The power of Facebook is that it collects information on everyone that joins up, on what you like through your interests, the pages that you like, what details you put in your profile, your age, where you work, where you studied, everything. This is why Facebook is a marketer's heaven. So once again, like I was saying, target your ad as specific as possible to your audience. So I'm going to take an example. Let's focus on where I live by city. So country will be Australia and the city will be Perth. So I've got let me change it a little bit. Before I said I've got an online retail store. Yes, I do. But let's say I'm targeting this ad for my bricks and mortar store, which is in Perth, Australia. So I target it to Perth, Australia. Now I sell shoes, so I'm going to be very specific with who I'm going to sell it to. So let's say I sell female shoes. So we'll take women. Age. Well, the shoes that I sell are going to be sort of high heel shoes. So they're going to fit the corporate woman. So typically someone that's working is going to be roughly about potentially 19 to about, say, without being, don't get me wrong, I'm not being biased, but let's say 40. Let's just say that. I mean, you can, obviously there are older women that wear high heels, but I'm just going to try to really narrow down the age. So now this is the trick, the precise interests. Now this is where you have to think out of the box. So you want to really target it. So for example, you can go shoes, but you know, that could cover any sort of shoes. It could be like Nike shoes, just normal shoes, Bata shoes. Let's do high heel shoes. There we go, high heeled footwear. And another thing that you can do to think outside the box is think about brands or just brands or things associated with your audience. For example, high-heeled footwear. You know, let's say there was a brand, there's a very common brand. So let's go into Google here and I'll show you what I mean. So let's type shoes, high-heeled shoes, and brands. And bingo, top 5 high-heel shoe brands. So we go into here, Christian Louboutin seems to be the top one. Let's see if it's here. Christian Louboutin, there you go, look at that. See how I've now narrowed it down to specific shoes. And the best thing about thinking out of the box like this is, because this is one of the top high-end brands, now I'm just taking a guess, you could look through online shoe stores and see how much these high heels are going for. But because they're number one, according to this website, I'm assuming that they're going to be expensive. And all things being equal, if this is an affiliate marketing website, these shoes are the high-end stakes. So not only are you targeting specifically your demographic, but you're also knowing that because these are high-end shoes, the people that you're targeting are probably going to have the money to buy those shoes and to be able to obviously purchase from your store. So I've really narrowed it down, and you want to get as specific as possible. You don't want to go broad. You want to go specific as possible. Don't worry about this. And if you want to know more about this, just have a read and have a play around with it. Now we can go into advanced options. So now you can start looking at people that their relationship status, if you want. So if you know that about the demographic of your audience, for example, you could be selling, or your fan page could be for to help people that are in a relationship. So just relationship advice. Then you can untick all this and just have engaged, in a relationship, or married. See how you're really targeting your ad. And once again, like I was mentioning before, you can also target the education. So you want to get specific. So for example, if you're selling shoes through your Facebook fan page, usually people that will have money to be able to buy your products would be college grad. So then you can target it even more. But I'll leave it like this for as anyone for the time being. Now this is the next step. This is the killer. So when you set the pricing and status, you want to set it for CPM, not CPC. Now CPC is cost per click. What that basically means is you've got a set cost that you're going to pay every time someone clicks your ad. So that could be 50 cents, it could be 30 cents, but it will never go lower or higher than that. And obviously, like bidding, the higher you bid, the more people that are going to see your ad. So you don't really want that. What you really want is CPM, which is the cost per 1,000 impressions. That means every 1,000 times that your ad is shown, you pay X amount. So this is where the power comes in. So if you set it for, say, $2 as a figure for the CPM, that means you're paying $2 for every time your ad is shown 1,000 times. But going back to what I was saying before, now that you've highly targeted your ad, you're basically showing your ad to people that are going to already be interested in your fan page. Does that make sense? So by really targeting your ad, only the people that are genuinely interested in your fan page are going to actually click like. And because you've set the maximum bid as X amount of dollars per 1,000 impressions, you've got a much higher chance more people are going to click your ad because they're so targeted. And what happens is, if you divide the number of how much you pay per 1,000 impressions divided by the clicks, you can work out, and Facebook will tell you the cost per click that you're paying. And this is how you get cheap Facebook ads. I've been able to get anywhere from 1 cent to 10 cents just through this method. So you can actually see that, 1,000 impressions, and that's where you need your audience to be highly targeted because what I was saying was, you can pay X amount of dollars for 1,000 impressions, but if it's not targeted, the chance of them clicking your ad is going to be low. So therefore, you divide what you're paying per 1,000 impressions, divide by the number of clicks, you're going to get a much higher cost per click. So let's do a maximum bid. It says here suggested bid. I like to go round about that amount, plus or minus, say, within 4 cents ish. So let's say 94. Oh, sorry, that's not 4, 92. But that's from the highest range. I usually take it from the highest range. And then that's it. And now you can just sit back. Once Facebook approves it, then you can see how your ad's tracking. So then you can see what cost per click that you're paying. Now, one good thing as well to really really and another angle to sort of improve, to decrease your cost per click, how much you're paying per ad, is to focus on something controversial and or that strikes emotion. And I've done a couple of videos on this because, for example, if you do a shoe store and for example you sell shoes, you could do something around something that's happened recently. It could be a new levy tax on all high heel shoes that the government's forcing people to pay. You could do a Facebook ad targeting that, saying click here, click like if you disagree with the new levy shoe tax. And by striking that emotion, people are going to go, oh, absolutely, I'm clicking that, I'm supporting that. So you see where I'm coming from? Now finally, one last thing to take note of is sometimes you don't know the demographics. And one good website that can help you is if you're targeting especially a US audience, you can use a website called Quảng, and I'll click on Quảng. And this is where you can see the profile audience of a website. So let's just say, for example, the next best thing is to go into Google, and I'll go to Google US and say you want to buy high heels online. Then we can get the top stores. So we can see here 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll take the first one, take the website address, chuck it in Quảng, click search. Okay, here you can see different demographics. You can see the people visiting the website is obviously higher in females, and quite interestingly, women that have kids and that are earning roughly between $0 to $50,000. So you can get all sorts of data like this. This is great. So if you're focusing especially on US, just do a Google search on a topic related to your fan page, plug it into Quảng, and then it will give you the demographic data, and you use this demographic data to plug it into Facebook. But on a final note, I just highly recommend that you just think out of the box and try to really think about who your typical user is. Well, that's it. I hope that all made sense. So I'd appreciate it if you like this video, so more people can see it. So because I just absolutely love helping others, and yeah. So yep, feel free to like this video, and also come visit my website and sign up for my free newsletter there, where I share more tips, and just send me a message and drop me a line on my social media. I love connecting with people all around the world, and yeah, I really hope that helps. So yeah, until my next video, have a great week, and yeah, hope this helped.